Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lori Voss Furukawa. I'm the founder of Create, Play, Grow Out of the Box Living, and I'm coming to you today on this beautiful, tasty Tuesday with a healthy snack recipe. Yay! Everybody are going to need nuts and seeds. We're going to make a nut and seed bar today. And I recommend that you take a look at the Healthy Foundations video that I posted a few months back about how to prepare your nuts and seeds properly so they are easily digestible and we get the most benefit from them and not a burden. So on that note, into this recipe, a healthy nut and seed bar. So for this recipe, we actually have quite a few different nuts and seeds that we're going to use. I have already measured out and even processed in terms of used my food processor or blended them up a little bit to make them easier to mix together. So I have here, we're going to mix everything in my bowl. I'm going to show you how we're going through the process, and then we will see how things go. So I have 1 cup of sesame seeds already measured out. The 1 cup of sesame seeds can be white sesame or black sesame. It's up to you. I meant to mix it, but I had already measured the white ones, and that's just what happened. So I'm going to put everything, all the dry ingredients in the bowl already. So one in this recipe that is with 1 cup. All the other ones are going to be in ½ a cup measurements, okay? So now I have 1 ½ cup of walnuts, peely nuts, and almonds. I've mixed them all in here already. That's ½ a cup of peely nuts, ½ a cup of walnuts, and ½ a cup of almonds. You might be thinking, what in the world is a peely nut? If you don't live in the Philippines or haven't, you probably don't know. So I can show you. It is like almost like a big pine nut, and they taste kind of in the same family towards a pine nut, just much bigger. And in such a case, if you don't have access to peely nuts, substitute cashews. If you don't have cashews, leave it out. It's all good in the creative kitchen. So here again, ½ a cup of walnuts, ½ a cup of peely nuts, and ½ a cup of almonds. I put them in the food processor already, so everything is a little bit fine, ground up a little bit more. Put that one in there. Then I have ½ a cup of sunflower seeds, ½ a cup of pumpkin seeds, and ½ a cup of hemp seeds. And again, I put this in the food processor already just to save us a little bit of time in watching the video. And everything goes in there. So now we have sesame seeds, 1 cup. ½ a cup walnuts, ½ a cup peely nuts, ½ a cup almonds, ½ a cup sunflower seeds, ½ a cup pumpkin seeds, ½ a cup sesame seeds. 7 different ones, 7 different types of seeds or nuts, okay? It's up to you what you want to go with and how you want to use. If you don't have access to some things, you can substitute, most definitely. And we are going to add cacao nibs, ½ a cup of cacao nibs. Cacao nibs are where chocolate comes from. It's the real, fresh, beautiful chocolate. This is pure. It doesn't have sugar added on it. It doesn't have anything on it. And it's really good for us, actually. And I have ½ a cup here. We're going to add that in. This one is generally, they're broken up in tiny pieces already, so you don't need to think about food processing or breaking them up smaller, but it's up to you. And I have ½ a cup of goji berries. Not sure if you're familiar with what goji berries are. There's little red berry, and they actually come out of China, I believe, and they are super healthy as well. So we have ½ a cup of those we're going to put in here. If you don't have access to goji berries, you can put in raisins, craisins, dried blueberries, whatever really you have access to or is available for you. So that's the dry ingredient base. And I'm just going to use my hands because I'm in the kitchen. It's my kitchen. I've been using my hands already in here, and my hands are clean already. So I'm just going to mix that up a little bit, just getting everything an even base in here. So everything looks kind of nice color texture, not one pile of just chocolate sitting in one area. Okay. Then we have the sweetener. We have a nectar. So if you have a coconut nectar, agave syrup, maple syrup, or any kind of liquid sweetener that you'd like to use, preferably a more natural one, like one of the ones I've just listed to you. And we have, again, ½ a cup of nectar, or your choice of sweetener, ½ a cup of coconut oil, and half a cup, yeah, that's all I have here, sorry. I have half a cup of nectar and half a cup of coconut oil. Now, I'm in the Philippines, so my coconut nectar is always at room temperature. It is always a liquid. If you live in a climate that has a little bit cooler temperatures, your coconut oil is going to be solidified at room temperature, and it's going to be a white substance. So you're going to need to melt your coconut oil first. We don't want to have a clumpy coconut oil in here. So I'm just going to pour in the, I got that all over my fingers. Fun in the kitchen. You're going to just pour in your sweetener and your coconut oil. Put that in there. I got agave nectar and coconut oil all over my hands. Well done. I had actually a little bit of a mix of some last little bit of maple syrup left, and then I put agave nectar. So, you know, whatever you got. This recipe calls for actually then half a cup of tahini. This is going to help to bind everything together. Tahini is a sesame paste, actually. Sesame seeds just made into a paste. I don't have tahini here, and I don't feel like making any right now. So I do have access to almond butter. I'm going to put almond butter in here. And that is also half a cup. So in terms of the measurements for the recipe, everything is half a cup except sesame seeds. And, you know, even with that, you can play around. It's not a big deal. Now I have everything in my bowl. I'm going to, my almond butter is one big pile. So I'm going to mash that up a little bit here with my fingers, crushing that, and going to just have fun mixing this together. If you have kids, you could do this recipe with your kids as well. Let them, you know, come with their clean hands and have fun mixing everything together. Just having fun. You can't really go wrong with this recipe unless you spill the whole bowl on the floor. And even if you do that, you know, whatever. Got to start over. It's all good. So just mix everything up nice together. Really finding the mixture to come into a nice sticky paste. That's why we want to make sure you use a liquid sweetener here, because it's going to help to make everything, look at that, nice messy hands. I'm sorry, my lighting in my kitchen is not the greatest, but you know, we're working step by step to get things together here. It's mid-afternoon here, so we have a beautiful sun that is shining behind us today. Lucky, lucky. So everything needs to be mixed. I'm trying to get rid of, I have some clumps in here that were from my almond butter. So I'm just want to make sure that we don't have that, because, okay, not the end of the world if you get a clump of almond butter in your mouth, but it's not exactly what you want. We want to have a more uniform taste across the board while we are going to enjoy eating this recipe. And here we go. Everything is looking pretty good. What you need to have is ideally some containers to put this in. I would suggest silicone ones, because once you put everything inside, it's easy to pop it out later. If you don't have that and you don't feel like buying one, you can use also a cake pan. I would use a square pan, maybe a 9-inch one, or even smaller. This recipe I haven't used in that way, so I'm not sure how it would fill out, but I think it should work on this square 9-inch cake pan. And then I would put just parchment paper first, so you can pop it out that way, pull it out with the parchment paper. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit trickier to get out and harder. I have 2 cute little baking silicone trays that I'm going to use. My hands are both extremely nutty and seedy. So what I'm going to do is just move the camera. Now you can't see my head. If I go down a little bit, I'm going to just put everything in here. Fill up both of these little trays that I have. The idea is also that we need to make sure you press everything down. If it's not pressed down, it will not stay together once it is ready to eat. So obviously this doesn't need cooking. You could eat it right now, and believe me, if you do, you're going to be pleasantly surprised and probably not get everything into where it's supposed to go. But I suggest, like I say, once you put it in your container, you must to press it down really well. Now my containers, because they're silicone, they're pressing down the outsides, making it a little bit messier for me. I need to clean my hands in order to press the outside and hold. I want to keep the shape here while I press down. And I suggest really seriously pressing down. I don't want to use anger in the kitchen, but if you have anything, you could just let it a little bit out and then fill it in with love, because we don't want anger in our food. No, no, no. Press that down. Really, really press it down. Make it so it's going to stick together. And then when you're done pressing everything into your tray or your cake pan, put it into the freezer or fridge, but I would suggest freezer because that will help speed up the process. Put it in your freezer for 1 to 2 hours, and then when you feel ready, just pop it out, take it out, and cut it into little slices. It is a beautiful, thick powerhouse of a snack. You will not be disappointed with this, and I'm pretty sure if you have children, your children will also not be disappointed because it is so delicious. So on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope that you find this recipe well. I love it. It is one of my most favorite snacks to eat. It's so delicious and so powerful. I probably eat too much of it when I do make it. I don't make it all the time because of that reason, actually. So I hope you enjoy it. I got this recipe actually from my beautiful friend Asha Perry, who lives here in Manila, Philippines. And she's a most wonderful chef and cook. And please, if you're in the area, think about learning from her too, because she has so much beautiful information to share. My name is Lori Voss Rudukawa, founder of Create, Play, Grow, and coming to you from the Creative Kitchen in Manila, Philippines. I hope this recipe finds you well. I hope you're having a lovely Tuesday, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful time cooking in your kitchen. Feel free to like and share this video. Share it with your friends if you think they might be interested in it, and like it. Give me a comment. Let me know how the recipe goes. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.